All right. What is good, everybody? This is Chaos Rain here. Welcome again to another stream, another podcast, another live stream. I thank everybody that will be listening or that will get a chance to listen to this podcast or the stream. Um, like always, if you're new to this channel, always hit that subscribe and hit that notification bell. There are three options. I would appreciate if you hit the top bell because that will let you know when I go live or I upload a video here on this channel, on Chaos Rain channel. Also, every video or live stream, I would like to hear from y'all. Leave a comment to every upload video for your thoughts and feelings. Um, I don't. I will read them. I might respond depending on the comment itself, but all criticism I will take to serious. To always hear what's your views and opinions to certain topics I come on here. Um, and as always, if you like the video itself, please like the video, or as you come in, like the video, I would appreciate that as well. What else? As you know, me and the Great Liberator have been doing some good works lately, and we're gonna look for more works to come. And like I said, my time on here is gonna probably use a little bit more wisely. That's why when you notice when I don't put a podcast out here or a stream or upload, I always put in the thought to what I'm probably gonna put out here for y'all before I do it. So I'm not gonna just come up here put like a stream or podcast or recording if I do not like it. Besides the shows I do on another platform, on the average, when you come to this channel, you're gonna find some decent content, maybe great content or content you might not like. You might hate this. Who knows? At the end of the day, it's a content and the content you will like or love, nonetheless. And but what's up, Mr. Williams Jr. And tonight, I think I'm gonna go in about the solution part to what I find about this black male degeneracy, this lack of masculinity, or whatever you want to label it nowadays. I have a solution, and this is going to really more relate to the mothers of these boys because, on the average, they're mostly under your care more than their father, whether he stays or goes, or he just straight up be a complete derelict. At the end of the day, you hold a very heavy responsibility nonetheless. So I think tonight this message will be pretty good for y'all as well. As I give people a few more minutes before I start, so be patient. All right, I'm gonna soon start. So in one more minute, I will start. Um, if y'all notice, I didn't talk about what's going on here in the West or in the world in regards to the situation that we have here as a people. I leave that alone and leave that to other people to discuss. And you know what I'm talking about, so I'm not gonna really go into what it is or detail. So, but eventually I might talk about it. Eventually. But right now I'm just sitting back, see what's really going on. So let me check my systems, make sure everything's functioning good. I'm gonna probably do one more thing and then I will start. All right, we can now begin. Thank you for your patience. Now, the subject, and it's a title: How to Solve Self-Black Hatred and Towards Black on Black People. This is what I like to call the male edition of this portion. I'm gonna keep it real simple. The only way you're gonna stop the black males some self-hating towards not only to himself in the mirror, but towards other males and towards the black female. And this goes for you ladies, this male edition. You're gonna have to give your sons to the fathers. Now I know this is not gonna sound nice in favor, and I'm gonna get some pushback. I got pushback last year on this. Not much, particularly one person gave me a little pushback on it. But overall, as I'm watching how our people are acting up, interacting right now, behaving, and it's funny. I just saw the view just got down. It comes with it, territory. But it's this: you raise them up to whatever age since they came out your womb till they become so-called full-fledged adults will not cut it in the 21st century. Yes, it will not cut it in the 21st. And what I've viewed now, because most of these men that at the end of the day you choose them, it don't seem like you're doing any much of a greater job or better job with them. So my only solution in this portion of this self-hatred alone for the boys is you're going to have to give and turn over the full custody to them, to the actual fathers, whether the fathers like it or not. And let me tell you why. There are some fathers that Noah said, on the average, and it's very small, when mothers give birth, and sometimes she might not make it and she transitions. Now, if we look at, some of them could have been married, some could not be married, but nonetheless, the sole responsibility they would give fully to the father or the next man in line. And usually, on the average, if they said the data shows accurately, and I wish I have the numbers right here to show this, but I'm in here from a lot of these male spaces. Time I said we are the best fathers. I had to question that, but nonetheless, we're going to leave it as that for now until I've really dig up and found otherwise. That is now the time to let the man you choose, that you like to suck, to fuck, to procreate, whatever you want to call it, to give sole responsibility and give all autonomy and authority, your sons, to their fathers. Now, they say, Chaos, what benefit this has me giving my son, this boy that came out of my womb, to that no good father, or the father that's good or bad, whatever? I'm glad you asked. Simple. Because now you don't have to worry about accountability and taking the bulk of the failures that you might present to your sons from 0 to 18 years old. Now, we all know, on the average, most of these boys, after they come out your womb, they go through school. Sometimes they don't get to read at grade level, do math at certain level, or do any simple things that will help them progress in society. So that way, if they decide to go on to college, which some of them might do, depending how they do well in high school and stuff, it's going to determine how well they're going to further sustain themselves in this so-called global system, a competing system, a very much vibrant, very competitive system. And to sit there and continue to neglect your development of your sons, to me, and what I'm seeing, the complaints of other young girls or young women, mostly young girls, with the issue they deal with, some of these boys that sit there, act the way they do, hell, even behave the way they do towards them, you could easily escape that problem by just solely giving full responsibility and sending your sons, whether they turn 6 or even 10, to the fathers for the remainder of their development, from boy to young manhood, and eventually manhood. I've seen enough men that I've talked to. Hell, I could say I probably would know, because I've been talking now for some time now, that have took the mantle to take full custody of their children, especially the boys. And what I've noticed, their sons, on the average, do way better under that male 40 than to you. I hope people are listening to me and following me what I'm saying here. That these boys, on the end of the day, do much better under a male authority than you. Now, the reason why this might be is probably because once they get to a certain age, they get a little taller. They might have that voice. Hell, they might have muscles. They're gonna feel that they don't have to really listen to you because, to a degree, because you might be a mother to them. And no one's saying that you will call them to a degree. And sometimes you'll get firm to them where you might have to give them some punishment, particularly whether physical punishment or verbal punishment. Nonetheless, that does not work in the long haul for your boys in their development. Because the boys, and I could say probably the young girls too, they have a way to really con in and trying to figure you out as a parent, especially if you're just a single parent alone. They can easily pick your brain, easy. And don't I don't want to get into where you might have more than one kid, especially if it's more than one boy. They will give you headaches. It'll give you so much headaches they're gonna make you get gray hairs, give you some stress. Hell, even give you high blood pressure if you're not careful, ladies. So I tell you this that you should give your sons to the father. And I'm always gonna stay on this message at the end of the day. I'm not gonna sway from this message. I'm not gonna tell you say, well, maybe it's better they under your care because no, 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 no. Screw that. He's a boy. If the man's around, if he's still around, the only excuse you could have as a woman raising your son is that man is dead. Not just deadbeat, but physically dead. Then obviously you're going to do what you have to do as a woman. And let's tell a lot of these black men are not being dead like that on the numbers like last time I checked. I'm in hearing the same stupid excuse how they say, oh, all the good black men are not here. Some of them are dead or locked up. There are millions of black men right now. And not all of them dead and not all of them locked up. The prison population of black people in this country is over 3 million. And last time I checked, there's over close to 50 million black people here in the soil we call the hells of west of North America. So that little 3 million, that's like shit. Not even a percent, maybe 1%, maybe less than 2%. So when I hear these narratives, and this is a common narrative now, and I have to agree with some of my other good brothers, other gentlemen like the great liberator Mary Brown, Charles Faulkner. Yeah, I could probably put Cerulean in that same category. Jay Shine. And I could throw some other men out here. And mind, the circle is very small that I could come off the head right now from y'all listening to this. That they hold esteem and responsibility. They deal with their children accordingly and take the full boat of responsibility to make sure their children come out right. They're not dictated by the women in their life how they should raise their own sons or daughters. But if you're a woman that's just doing it all bad by yourself, you will be dictated and you will be put in the law and order and go as far as you might not even see that same energy to put in your own sons to get the best result so they could compete and survive in this global system we're in now. I don't want to hear too much more excuse about why your sons are failures, where you have the potential to either do the few things that I'm telling you, especially if you're going to be mate selecting, or even go as far as if you're going to be just screwing on any dude that makes your yoni wet, that you're going to sit there and procreate. I tell you, do this. That sounds good and that sounds nice, but you better make sure your stuff is in order where if you give fruit life, you better make sure you're going to prepare your children so they could succeed and move forward in life. With or without that male, because and then I can't tell most couples, especially women, the dudes that you screw with, they have kids with, that you should grab his arm and try to hold him. No, I'm not telling you should try to stay. If the relationship is very much serious where your life could be taken. Because there are males out here that are so abusive physically, they will eventually take your life. That's no hidden story. They're out here. Don't stay in those relationships if these men are going to beat you to a pulp to potentially will take your life. No, you leave fast. And I'm talking about the average abuser that just sit there busting your side of the head for no reason, for every little thing. And usually, normally you would pick this out already the longer you stay with this type of male before you procreate. Because it doesn't take too much to know how a man behaves, especially if he's a beater, a physical beater. You get that in a matter of a few weeks. You don't have to really do a test. You get that out of a matter of weeks because a man that's actually a dude that likes to harm women physically, it always comes out. His behavior exudes and it comes and inflicts on you eventually. But the problem with us today, we don't take time to really, we could say vent, but don't take time to really know each other's ins and outs. What's our tendencies? How much of a tolerance you could take on your bad behavior? Same for do. How much your woman's going to take of a tolerance of bad behavior? Are they going to be verbally abusive, or are they going to be just physically abusive, where they're going to slap, punch, use hands, whatever? You will know because time is your friend. Because usually people how they handle it themselves will handle towards their mates. But more to the story of the boy situation. A lot of mothers, if you're going to take on this role, you better know, that if you're not giving your son the best possibility to succeed, or make sure if he's in school, he should be at least up to level or beyond level, depending on his development. And there was one post I remember, a Mary posted to me one time, and it just said that a woman said that she's, and if I can remember, and this post never left my mind because it has stuck with me, and I'm gonna find it right now because the purpose of this little post is because it's telling. All right, let me check where it is. And for those that's listening, please like this video. Okay, I'm going to find it now. All right. And I'm not sure if I ever told y'all this post before, but I'll scroll up and find it anyway. Let me see, where is it? Mm. And this was just like, I'm not sure if this was a tweet or a Facebook post. And sometimes I'd be interacting a little bit on Facebook a little bit. I took a step back a little bit because I don't see too much unless it's something really serious. I will keep an eye out, but I don't really post a lot on here. And if people want to find me on Facebook, is Eric Rain. Let me find it. Uh, it's gonna take a while. Okay. I'm trying to find it, people. Give me a second. If I don't find it, I'll just tell you what I remember. Mhm. Okay, well, I can't really find it per se. So I'll tell you what it did said. Hold on. What the post did said, It state, and this is dealing with a woman. I believe this one was in her mid to late 30s. She said, I quote from the post, saying, "Huh, I should raise my son to be spectacular, great, even great to a point where he might go out and marry a white woman at the end." Laughing out loud. Now, mind you, that was not funny because if you're not raising your own son, and I can't speak for all the women, but let's say if that's the mindset for now, that's saying raise your son to be the best what he can be, to the best of his level, even exceeding any level he's at and being greater, and find out that you doing that will make him go out and swirl once he accomplished what his purpose is, or got that good job, wherever you want to call it, that he'll go and date out, is very telling. So if you're not preparing your son for success or to succeed in not only life but in to compete in this world, you are by default preparing them for what we call failure and stagnation, and to be somebody else's noodle back. I've seen it. I've seen it too many times. Not by enough, but just enough when I see these same young males get to a certain age and they come in spaces or streams like this or podcasts and we listen to this message that's really tangible for their development that they should be hearing as young men. They will sit there, conflate, and fight other brothers, giving an alternate message of not dealing with the women, but dealing with how to better themselves, because they don't see the purpose of bettering themselves because they feel in their mind that they're not worth nothing. Remember, self-hatred is not only a system thing that was indoctrinated to the black population for centuries, but it's something that we continue to carry on because we refuse to remove this mental illness that keep us under oppression, not only physically, but the mentally. Ladies, you must understand self-hatred is a learned behavior. If your sons goes to these institutions where it's non-black people teaching them, especially particularly non-black women, and that non-black will either treat your sons either better or worse, they come to a young adulthood where they not only see it, but they want to treasure it, even go as far as to screw it and procreate, and even go as far as marry it, because they don't see the essence or the importance of blackness, because they don't see nothing really good, because no one not only showing them, but no one is not only giving the positive side, the self-esteem side, the beauty of blackness enough in these households. A lot of people feel that we just American and we should act like the American public. Yes, that is true. But the problem is we're not just any American. We are what we call a special group of people. We are black people. The world operates and functions through the minds and actions of black people, men and women. They get their inspiration and really how to move, how to even get the swag or think and operate through the mind and help assistance of black people, especially from the males. And constantly through the struggle that we deal with on an everyday basis, we create and still create things that the world sucks up, parasites, and takes and makes their own. So you not investing more energy and time so your sons get the full potential to what they can be, you only prepare them for failure and further oppression under another man's foothold. That's why when I come across and I hear these males, rather my age, a little younger or a little older, I could sense the self-defeatism in them. Not only do they want to compete, but they don't want to attain power as a group of men. And because of this brings a lot of problem for the future of black people, not only in the West, but globally. Because now what you see now, you're only going to see move forward a sense of a slow or greater extinction process. It's not going to always be the physical extinction that the black people have to worry about, but it's also the genetic as well, where we self annihilate ourselves, procreation wise, mostly. Because if you look at throughout the last couple of decades, they talk bad about black on black violence, but it's not enough to get rid of you. They talk about the mass what do they call it? Experimentation of black people. It's not enough to get rid of you. The only thing that will further and secure the slowly annihilation of the melanated man and woman here in the West and possibly globally is through the genetic annihilation. We're now said we don't even want to see or procreate in reflections toward ourselves. And it becomes a much more great danger in time as time progresses. And like I said before, the only way this could be brought to fruition is through the systems of the self-hatred. Now, if they said the boys that become men are the leaders, we always got to know, and I tell most ladies, what are you doing now to prepare your sons for to be that leader of not only himself, but just in life in general? You could put them in special programs. Hell, you could even invest in a tutor. That would be good. If you're doing this, but only if you do this by yourself, yeah, but it will not be enough. It's going to come to a point that man you deal with, the man you deal with, is going to even go further to bring that other half, that other balancing perspective in the development as boys. So, so like I said before, it's going to come to the point if you really want to really address this problem, if you're really serious, and I think most ladies today, I think they're sincere to see the race progress, and even first, they don't want to see black males in this state. They don't want to see them in a self-defeated state. They don't want them to see them where and act like them, like, or actually act like females. They want to see black male masculinity. They want to see that exude energy that which only you see in black males, black men actually. But is how you going to nurture these boys to see the men of tomorrow. And I'm telling you this personally, to get the best further result, you're going to have to, depending on which dude you pick. And I know because you pick them, you're going to have to make that decision saying, it's not going to be on my hands that my son grows up to be an F up. Oh, I'm going to give full custody responsibility to the father. Just like in that so-called movie Boys in the Hood. And I don't like to use that as an example because I find Boys in the Hood itself is a piece of crap movie. It has some good message. It was good during that time. But as I've gotten older and understand what it really was, what it really did, it did more damage than good amongst the black community. No offense to the man that created, and I think he transitioned last year. I believe, yeah, last year he died. You know, because I, as a man, I just don't like to see that. Some of our boys that are men, not only they have this effeminate way, but they have a self-defeated mentality when they're across and they come across other men. Hell, they did this with other content creators about talking about power, defeatism. Some are even go as far as say they're comfortable just a job and make other people rich. Well, how is this possible? It would not be possible if they were under the rulership and control of their fathers on the average. Because most fathers, and I say most, not everyone, but a good portion of, are going to push their own sons to be better than them. I don't care what you ladies say. If you leave him to his father, you will see the greatness of him. And that's the only result I see and the only result I want to see move forward in a lot of these development, a lot of these males that will become men, these boys become men. They're not gonna get that same energy being under your wing, under your bosom, or your leadership for 0 to 18 years. The only thing you're gonna get through that process, you're gonna get noodlebacks. You're gonna get boys that will sit there and not only be not productive, but they're gonna sit there and be stagnant. They might play games, play the video games all day. They're not gonna pick up a book. Hell, they're not gonna better learn anything or harness their talents because they're under your wing. They know that there is some sense of comfort at the end of the road. If they screw up, if they get caught in the law or anything, they always have somebody to fall back to save their butts, which is you, the mother. On the average, the father, if he does do it, there's always going to be a consequence for every action. And why I say this, because, and I want ladies to understand it good. You might come with a tone of voice to your son, but it's not going to get that same message that, or the message that you want out of him when they hear it from their own, from a man or their father, from himself. Because a man brings a certain tone and energy towards that boy that he has to respect the authority. And I know that a lot of women don't want to hear that, but I listen to enough of y'all. I hear a few of your complaints. I'm not gonna call no names, but I hear the complaints. And like any man, just like the few men I mentioned earlier, we like to deal with the conclusions and the solutions to really fix the problems. And even me having the same conversation with other groups of men, some, let's say, are even derelict for sake of conversation. Let's say they are. They don't want to hear about that we should be, as men, as collective, solving the problems that we face. No. They always want to hear is always the women that they can't push ahead. They can't engage in leadership. They can't do this and that. To me, I heard that for a whole year. And I come to the conclusion that there's nothing growth out of that. And I don't even think as further that most of these dudes that take that self-defeating mentality, it makes me even conclude, say, did your father was play a role in your development in your life? Because that sounds like a self-defeating boy. You let no other opposite have to dictate how you should move as a man, even in regards to leadership. You should take that as an insult to your development as a young boy going to a man, if you're not a man already. And always remember that manhood is always a constant growth. It's never easy. Hell, it can be even painful. But you're not going to appreciate that a lot being around or complain about the women that you get access to are the ones that won't let you operate like a man. You're not going to see that. But like I said, again, you only find this with males that have been coddled too long by mother for a very long time. And I just don't like it. Even me as a man, I'm at the point where I don't want to hear no more about the complaints, you know. And even with the these boys now that's now even complaining just as hard as these grown adult men, I have to conclude said, no, this can't go further. You're going to have to make a decision. To all the new young mothers out here, on ones that children that's not even 18 years old yet. If you're under 18 and your mom gets this message, there might be some hope for you. And I said there might be some hope. And like I said again, unless the man is dead, no longer around, like seriously gone, transition, then you have to fall under somebody's wing of leadership as that male role model. And like I said, on the average, these boys are being raised by just one parent from 0 to 18, and that to me will not cut it and move forward in the 21st century. The only thing you're gonna see with this behavior, you're going to see more and more boys not only that only will be potentially become feminine, but they're going to lack any form of male testosterone and male energy or hell, they're not going to act what they should be according to. You know, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, ladies. You know what I'm saying? So to avoid this, the only solution I say is, give your sons to the father. That's the only solution because now it's going to remove the responsibility from you to the next parent. So if that father fails his son, he has failed in the entire. And on the average, most fathers, on the average, not all, don't like to be failures or f ups when it comes to their own children, especially their sons. Because when a man knows that his son fails, he fails. It's that simple. So, and another thing I do want to say, another thing I'm starting to hate about it is that, in regards to the colorism, the skin color, and all this nonsense, like I said before, being around you, whether you are a jet black woman or whatever color you are, if you want to avoid your son develop this colorist mindset, you only could do two options. You raise them around black people, make sure that if they're going to be in these schools, find one that has a black teacher, male or female, and you go out to punish and suburb them with pure black images. Because have them sit around a flat screen, a tablet, or all that stuff, the only thing you're going to see him be bombarded with is white images, which pushes that white is white, lighter is better because images shape your reality, you know? And if you want your son to really get out of this colors mindset, you're going to have to reshape and re-engineer how he views blackness. That is the only sole responsibility you have as a parent. And if you're not willing to do that, then by all means, you're going to have to give your son to the father and let him deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, if you're concerned about the colorism, the lack of respect of women, especially sisters, black women in our communities, you're going to have to do the totally opposite in regards to the development of these boys that will eventually become men of tomorrow. If you do not follow any of these suggestions or solutions that I give out, the only thing you see in the near future or continue in this time we're in, move forward in the 21st century, you're only going to see more male degeneracy. Hell, you might even see more derelicts with this now. And you're going to see black boys of any age going to flock to other non-black women in droves because they feel there is something better. There is something feminine in all this nonsense. You get me? And not only that, by cutting, by removing him to your off your bosom, it will make him further respect, have appreciation for some of his sisters. Okay, he's gonna be raised by his father most of the time, or the majority of the time. So he's gonna have no choice, to stay away from you to a degree because it's really weakening him and how he views women on the average. So as give me a second, people, right there. All right. So I will stop from that. Um, all right, I will conclude on that section part of this discussion. I think my solutions will be much more thorough for most or the majority of any woman that listens to it to get a better understanding. Now, another thing I will add on to here, and I might do in more further streams on this, the racism in TikTok. I've noticed lately on TikTok there is a lot of racism, particularly the women of the opposite society, or what I like to call the more dominant society. They are constantly on attack with black females or black young girls in regards to imitating their sound, their mannerism, and hell, they try to even look the image. And I never seen so much of this through a simple app called TikTok. And it makes me want to say how much disdainful hate these other women hate towards you sisters. And how you sisters not really fighting back appropriately for these onslaught of these so-called Caucasoids, females. Another thing I would say to y'all is y'all ladies going to start fight back a little bit because the racism on TikTok is ridiculous. And I'm not sure if the app is just pushing another alternate narrative besides some of these young boys that's foolish. Because then again, like I said, they only been raised on the average by one parent, and usually to sit there exude their love for non-black women, it only depends solely on how you are raising them. And I don't want to hear no excuse saying, well, they're part of where they go. No, you have to put in your foot in them, and you have to really instruct and teach them yourself in regards how the world works, what's racism, what is the colorism, all that stuff. All this at the end of the day is a learned behavior. Your son that comes out your womb for 9 months didn't come out thinking colorism or all this racist nonsense. No, he has to be trained and known that. And since this so-called lockdown, a good portion of the mothers here and the communities in America don't like raising their children. Some don't even want to be around their children because they give them headache. So it lets me know said they don't want to take the full responsibility raising their sons and daughters. So if their sons come out the way they do, it's expected because lazy parents only breed lazy children, which children become young adults and they sometimes will come straight all right in this world, but they're not at a point where they're going to compete officially. They won't really be the pushers and chasers. They will fight against other brothers and sisters that's doing things. Hell, even some that even go as far as will create a business for the community to go as far as not even support because goes back again, self-hatred is a learned behavior. Your oppressor already created for you by creating self-hatred through ancestors for ancestors. And what happens, you exude that same behavior and you teach it on your children. Mm. Okay. So, like I said before, that these are learned behaviors which you can easily address. Now, if you can't address it alone, or the man that entrusted as your man, your husband, is not enough, then you're gonna have to go out and form what we call a group to help teach and instruct your children so that you could stop this mental onslaught of programming of self-hatred, which will lead to self-defeating over time with our children, especially with the boys. Because the only thing, like I said before, and I'll say it again, that you're only going to see this constantly keep growing and rise. If they said the marriage rate here in America is not even over 30%, that tells you the ones that do get married or they will entertain and date out and marry, procreate with other race women. And that will grow because eventually, if the boys do come across and get the act straight, they will marry out. Now, people say that's unnatural, and it's unnatural, but it goes back. What are you instilling and teaching to your sons? If they don't know what is over the other side, the dangers, they're just going to keep walking into it. Now, some women said they do, but I think they don't emphasize enough. That takes responsibility. It takes dedication. It takes discipline to sit there to be not only a parent but also teaching, so your son understands and learns, because your son has to develop that logic in him. And if you keep posing and try to show him the problems, it's only gonna go as far for him to understand as he gets older. You have to sit there, and how I'm gonna say this: you're going to put your son in a situation where you have to start giving the questions. Either have him write down and explain himself through paper, and you him sit there, look at the logic, because your son, just like any man, has to deal with logic in the day. Now, if your son is a certain age where he is getting age like girls, and then you question it, you have these questions, you have him explain his logic. But what you do is you're gonna make him start think again to his actions. And the problem with a lot of black boys that become men, they're not doing enough thinking to really solve any problems, because they're not really put in a situation to really sit back and think, does it make sense? So as I'm looking now, it seems see people are watching, see people listening. This is good. Um, Let me see if I can get somebody on here. Uh, and if y'all can hear me good, let me know. I'm probably gonna add one person here. And after this, I will conclude this. All right. Let me see if Mr. Faulkner will pick up. Uh, okay. He's in another call. Okay. If I wonder if Mary's here. Yeah, I think Mary's here. Let me check. See if the Great Liberator is around. Oh, how you doing, Mr. Briggs? Hope you like the stream so far. Okay. I'm gonna get somebody on here now. All right, good. Oh, you here, Charles? 1 second, Charles. Let me do this. Hold on. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me do this. Of the show, Amiri, is how to solve self-black hatred towards black and black people, and this is a male edition. And in this edition, I talk about how the what I give a solution to a lot of women that have these sons that they're going to give sole responsibility and give them to the father. Because what I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing a lot of derelicts, self-defeated, all this stuff that they complain about. I think it's time that they should relinquish that responsibility and give solely to the father.
Right.
since they can't handle the development of their sons. And I remember that you did a post one time, and this is like a month ago, I believe, of a woman said that if she raised her son to be right, educated on stuff, that he's gonna go out and swirl or date out, right? And I'm thinking, okay, so if that's your concern, then it's better off you give your son to the father. That's not your problem, you know?
Right. Yeah, hold on a second.
And somebody wrote in the chat room, yes, it is excellent going to have to catch the replay. Okay, no. Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, hey, hang up and call me right back.
All right, let me do that.
All right.
Hold on, let me see how to do this. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. As we wait, matter of fact, I'll drop the link for Charles to come up. No offense to anybody that's listening, you know. But like I said before, I think this direction, this move will make more sense long term. And at the end of the day, that this will cut the complaining, the lack of actual responsibility, and the results that you want to see as women, to see the men that you want to see forth today and want to see in the future. And, you know, you think it's going to get any better under your care, under your guidance and watch, and hell, maybe some of your leadership. It sounds good, but it's not going to get you the results of what you need move forward. And it's not going to move the race any forward anyway, like this. And they know this. That's why we look at why the system started to start break up not only black families, but try break up, slowly break up other families here in the West we call America. If you look at the rate of people that's either staying around, coupling, or marriage, it's starting to decline. And it's been declining for over 50 years. Or approaching 50 years, because this dip started happening during the 70s. And we're now in the new decade, so we're looking at roughly 50 years. And often you're going to see with people that is in the middle, you're going to see families slowly hard to be not only stay intact, but start to crumble. Because if you look at here in the Western world we call America, there was never supposed to be no middle. It was always designed to be, there has to be the top, and there's always somebody in the bottom. This is always proven throughout human existence. So a lot of people say that, you know, having this middle household or the we have medium family or the middle family, that's slowly expunging as we see. Now that we're in a stage in our development where we're now in the technological stage, you're only going to see things accelerate faster. You know what I'm saying? Very fast. So like I said before, hold on. Wait, where's my? Like I said before, that things are going to start speeding up as time goes on. You know, what we see now in our development as a race people is only a phantom of what is really to come. You know, and don't think that it will get any easier or better. Don't expect to think that the black males you see now that's acting very much in a passive role, hell, even being derelict in its nature itself, you have not seen nothing yet. You're only going to see it start to continue increase as time progresses. Most of these males, if their father was around now, will not, I repeat, will not exude the masculine that you're seeking as a woman, or you hope to seek it. And because of this now, you're going to see that the serious rise of what we call, oh, actually, we already see the rise of feminine males that become, like I said, homosexual in nature, where they're dressing up more in female attire. You know, they push it under to the male celebrities, and eventually other males exude and then start to operate and copy these so-called top males because they think that's the way to go. Because a lot of them have never seen actual masculinity. Because, like I said before, good portion of ours could have gone rogue and derelict. Didn't want nothing to do with the mother or the son. But still, like I said, you still as a responsibility, either you're gonna give sole custody to the father. And it's not hard nowadays for women to do this. Now I think about it. Because you have a baby, and most time when you have to negotiate how you gonna get around this. And I know with most parents, they could sit there and sit down and talk with their other spots, you know what I'm saying? To talk about their other spouse and really negotiate how they want their children to operate, how they should conduct themselves, what you want out of your sons. It's not hard, but I think with most women, because it's not only a sense of power, but also, it's a resource. And imagine this. If these boys did not provide any sense of resource after you give birth to them, and it makes me wonder how many of our sisters, the black females or whatever, will keep a lot of these babies, whether it's a boy or girl. Because children are a resource where they think they're gonna get something. If the man goes south, then they might get a check a week or a month, for every case maybe, which is not a great check and it's not something that you could sustain yourself anyway. But just to get a check alone, that this is the only reason why they'll probably still have them. And it makes me want to say, it's gonna come to a point in this country where they're not gonna keep, giving out or forcing the actual biological parent to sit there, pay up for their children that they create, because they lead the bulk of the bag to the community and actually the society through tax revenue to pay for children that two parents couldn't make a decision to really either deal with or raise or whatever. you know I think in one state, if I can remember, one state, I think child support was like $1,000 a month in that state. And I got this from I think it was Cerulean, um Las Vegas. Now we know there's not a lot of black people in Las Vegas. So obviously there's a lot of derelict non-blacks out there that's not paying for their children. And we all know the bastard Maymaking is a behavior that, a lot of black men got caught up in because of the buck breaking process. And because of this buck breaking thing, it's what it is, what it is. And we have not really figured out as a collective, especially as people, that we're not really creating facilities to start break down the mental illness that we are engaged in through the trauma. And this is an ongoing rant, but I feel that to really correct this, it's going to take a great sacrifice. A lot of men that never been fathers going or don't want to play no role in their children's life, they're going to have to play that role now ever. And a woman that refused to really, raise these children, boys and girls, to the highest they could be, they're going to have to start relinquish some of the full responsibility of this children, regardless if they get some out of it at the end of the day. I mean, you gotta make a decision as a parent. Is a check more important than how your children is going to function in society, mentally, spiritually, etc.? I know this is the thing, constant argument with other males through the podcast and through D space that they keep arguing about. And I feel them. It doesn't negate that the response we should be doing as men anyway. But, like I said, it's going to take work. Hell, it's going to probably take a team effort to really fix and turn this thing around. It's ridiculous. Let me check something. I'll be right back. All right. I checked most of my message. I think besides anybody has anything on their mind to what they want me to also expound or talk about that's listening right now, you can leave in the chat room. And another thing I do want to say, I was once going to do a video on the Nicole and the Boris situation, but after taking a step back and finding out others' take on it and response to it, I kind of declined of going forward doing the upload. And the reason why I declined to do it because I mean I almost keep it real 100, y'all. I think with the problem with black love and marriage, a lot of males either with means on the average and they have serious means, they will not even take that certain disrespect. They would have walked out off the bat. Now the regular man that doesn't make that much money, like the celebrities do, they might compromise and try to give a fair warning to their wives, especially if they have kids. And either way, I look at either method will be fine because at the end of the man makes a decision what he should do in regards to his wife, whether his wife is disrespectful or not. But like I said, I stay away from that conversation to be honest because it's almost like the same for the Aisha Curry situation where she talking about she wants to get attention, and a lot of dudes getting emotional. What, you're not getting attention because women are very special creatures. I mean, they're gonna screw up. They'll need more than just the money. They need to be fulfilled in many areas. And at times, as a man, you try to sit there try to solve the problem with your wife as best as possible. So that way she don't go out her way to be putting you on front blast. Because there's always a reason why was a woman, especially our woman, would sit there constantly, time after time, embarrass her mate in front of public. Now I'm not saying it's right and she shouldn't be doing it, but there's a large reason why she really do it because really true, if she was messing with another race of man, she would not even think about doing that. Last time I checked, I could be wrong. If the ladies could address me, I would appreciate that. But I just don't see it. But when it comes to the her opposite mate, which is the black male or black man, it's constant disrespect all across the board. And she feels is comfortable doing it. And it's gonna come to a point that, like I'm telling most ladies, Certain men will work with you if they're married to kids, but the majority of men now, because a lot of them are going to start taking more action towards you, they're not going to give you a time. A matter of fact, they won't even give you the chance to sit there, try to explain yourself. They'll just walk up and leave, and will eventually probably leave you with the kids, or even go as far as if the man really cares about his kids, he probably take the kids with him. And I'm going to see in the near future that's what's going to happen to with a lot of these relationships. If wives just continue to sit there, embarrass, disrespect their man in public, rather if they're celebrities or not, in front of other people. Hell, I talked to one chick. She said she did that to her boyfriend because her boyfriend kind of made her feel a certain way. And I told her how she should handle that problem properly and said just sit there, do the same thing what she did to him. Because at the end of the day, you got somebody has to be the bigger adult and act like they're has some sense and they're not gonna sit there and put somebody else on blast in front of other people. Because now they look at that relationship as not an in sync relationship. It look like that relationship has some holes in it. And not only that, ladies, it also opens the opportunity for other women to get into your man's pants much easier. Infidelity happens when a lot of men feel embarrassed, not respected by his mate. I've seen it before. Trust me on this. Hmm. Okay. Let's checking something. Last thing I'm checking. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So I think I will stop here and end it on that note. I hope this was informative, helpful, and you get some out of this stream. My solution parts to it, and I try to explain it as clear as possible. And like always, if you have any complaints about it, you know where to find me in the comment section. Leave your comments, your thoughts, opinions of this broadcast, what you agree or disagree, your complaints, your arguments. Hell, even you might even cuss me out in the comment section. Nonetheless, I like to hear from you. So, at the end of every video, leave a comment. And another thing I would like to share, and I'm gonna do this more often. Let me think. I'm gonna do a commercial. Um, hmm. Okay, I'm trying to find this. Give me a second, people. On. Okay, I found her. I want everybody right now, if you're feeling that you have some, health little problems, you're trying to get some alternatives, uh, feel free to go to Oasis King's Copper House. As I pull up now. Okay, this is the Copper House. As I share my, oh, all right, hold on. What happened? Adam. What's up, Charles? Charles, you there? As as Charles get himself situated, let me share my screen right now. All right. This is the Copper House. As you can see, this is Copper House. This is a website that sells alternate supplements, maybe herbs for certain ailments you have. As you know, Oasis King, my good friend, she has a variety of products here. From purifying tonics to herbal teas, etc. The list is endless, as you could tell from here. Some of the products, like if I click onto one, and I'm only going to give you a few samples of this. This right here, turkey rutabaga root texture. What it does, let's check what this product does. Is gives 5 distilled vodka. It's good for digestion, from what I'm seeing. And this deals with for every customer. That's one product. The next one is Brazilian pepper tree texture. Let's see what's on that one. And I'm not sure if it's showing at my end. Hopefully it does. And this is mostly good for shyness, thrombosis. Not sure what it's good for, to be honest with you. Normally you had to hit her up on her email to find what this is good for again. And the last one I'm going to show is a go down. Oh, and she has organic kombucha, which I'm gonna click here. You'll see it here. And it's an organic kombucha, not the one you buy in stores. This is the actual kombucha. And this is really good for, if I could scroll down, it's good for digestion, relieve the stomach acids. And so that's what it's good for. And that's all for the Copper House section. Y'all can see for yourself. But I'll leave the link at the end of this video. So I'm not sure if you're there, Charles. Can you hear me? Oh, damn. He must be quiet right now. Anyway, I'll end it here. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to tonight's broadcast. Like always, please comment, subscribe, and like this video. You can also follow me on Twitter at ChaosReign7. Thank you for listening. Until next time, let's chaos reign.